Understanding the signs of past relationships and sexual experiences, we all carry our past with us. Whether it's personal experiences, emotional baggage, or the lessons we've learned. When it comes to romantic relationships and intimacy, many individuals bring with them a history shaped by past experiences. This history can be shaped by various factors, including previous sexual relationships, emotional connections, and how they perceive intimacy and connection with others. In this video, we're going to explore a delicate topic: how to understand certain signs that a woman may have had multiple sexual relationships in the past. It's important to approach this subject with sensitivity and respect, as our experiences shape who we are, and understanding these signs doesn't mean making assumptions or judgments. Instead, it's about gaining insights into how past experiences can influence a person's behavior, emotions, and interactions in the present. Keep in mind, these signs are not definitive indicators. They are merely observations that might suggest someone has had past experiences, but they should not be used as a way to judge or stereotype. Everyone is unique, and these signs should be viewed within the context of each individual's life and journey. Sign 1. Comfort with intimacy and physical touch. One of the most noticeable signs that someone may have had multiple sexual relationships in the past is their level of comfort with physical touch and intimacy. Women who have been sexually active in the past often display a level of confidence and ease when it comes to physical closeness. For instance, they might feel comfortable with holding hands, hugging, or even more intimate forms of touch like kissing or being affectionate. This comfort level is often a reflection of how they have learned to navigate physical connections in their past relationships. However, it's important to understand that comfort with intimacy doesn't necessarily equate to promiscuity. Some women simply feel secure in their own skin and have had healthy, positive sexual experiences that allow them to be comfortable in intimate settings. Example: let's say you're in a relationship with someone, and they seem perfectly at ease with hugging or kissing in public or being physically close to you. This could be an indicator that they've experienced similar forms of intimacy in their past, allowing them to be more open and confident in expressing physical affection. Sign 2. High communication skills about sex. Another sign that a woman may have had more sexual experiences in the past is her ability to openly communicate about sexual topics and desires. Women who have been in multiple sexual relationships may be more comfortable discussing their needs, boundaries, and preferences openly. This includes having candid conversations about what they enjoy in bed, what they don't, and what makes them feel good. They may also have a clear understanding of what their sexual boundaries are, which can be a sign of self-awareness gained from previous relationships. However, it's essential to note that open communication about sex can also simply be a trait of a person who is comfortable talking about any aspect of their life. Some individuals are naturally more open about personal topics, whether it's sex or any other matter, and it doesn't necessarily indicate that they have a past full of sexual relationships. Example: imagine you're in a relationship and your partner openly shares their sexual likes and dislikes with you, or they're very open about their expectations when it comes to intimacy. This openness can be a sign of their comfort with discussing sexuality, often developed through past relationships. Sign 3. Assertiveness in the bedroom. Women who have had multiple sexual partners may have gained a certain level of confidence and assertiveness when it comes to expressing what they want in the bedroom. They may be more likely to take the lead during intimacy or suggest different activities, knowing what they enjoy and what feels good. This assertiveness can also extend to ensuring that their partner is comfortable and satisfied, showing an understanding of sexual dynamics that comes with experience. It's a form of sexual empowerment that may come from past experiences where they learned what works for them and how to communicate that to a partner. However, being assertive in the bedroom doesn't always mean a person has had numerous relationships. Some people, regardless of their sexual history, are naturally more confident and take charge in intimate situations. Example: Let's say you're engaging in intimate moments with someone who is very clear and confident in expressing what they enjoy and what they want. They might initiate or suggest new things without hesitation. This can be a sign of sexual experience, but it's also a reflection of their personality and comfort with their desires. Sign 4. A nonchalant attitude toward casual sex. A woman who has had multiple sexual experiences may display a more casual attitude toward sex in general. This doesn't mean that she's promiscuous or indifferent to the emotional aspect of relationships. Rather, she might view sex as a natural, enjoyable experience without the need for deep emotional attachment every time. This can be reflected in how she discusses sex or her views on relationships. She may not idealize sex as something sacred or tied exclusively to deep emotional bonds. For her, it might be more about physical pleasure, mutual respect, and connection without necessarily involving a deep emotional investment. It's important to emphasize that this type of attitude doesn't imply anything negative about the woman's character. Some people simply see sex as part of a healthy, well-rounded life, not needing to be associated with romance or long-term commitments each time. Example: you might find yourself in a relationship where your partner views sex as just one part of the connection, not something that defines the entire relationship. They might not be as focused on turning every encounter into something emotionally intense, which can indicate they've experienced different forms of intimacy in the past. In the first part of this video, we've discussed some of the early signs that may suggest a woman has had multiple sexual relationships in the past. These include comfort with intimacy, high communication skills about sex, assertiveness in the bedroom, and a more nonchalant attitude toward casual sex. But as we continue to explore these signs, remember that everyone's experiences are unique. These traits aren't universally indicative of someone's sexual history, and they don't define who someone is. It's essential to approach these topics with understanding and respect for each individual's journey. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into other signs and provide further insights into how past experiences shape the present. Understanding these signs is not about judgment. It's about understanding the complex and unique individuals we interact with and forming more meaningful, respectful relationships. Understanding the deeper layers of past relationships and emotional responses. Sign 5. Emotional detachment or independence. One of the deeper signs that a woman may have had multiple sexual relationships in the past is emotional detachment or a high level of independence in her relationships. This can be noticed in her ability to maintain emotional stability without relying heavily on others for validation or fulfillment. Women who have experienced various types of relationships, including sexual ones, often develop a sense of independence because they've learned to rely on themselves emotionally. While this might be a sign of growth, it can also be interpreted as emotional detachment, where the woman may not always seek deep emotional attachment in her current relationship, especially in moments of conflict or intimacy. The key point here is that emotional detachment doesn't necessarily mean that a person is cold or indifferent. It can simply mean that they've learned to manage their emotions effectively, making them less likely to become overly dependent or overwhelmed by their partner's emotional state. Example: let's say you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't seem overly affected by arguments or tense situations. They may take a step back and give themselves space to think, or even handle emotional conflicts with a sense of calm and objectivity. This could be a sign of emotional independence, a trait that often develops after navigating multiple relationships where emotions were tested. Sign 6. A shift in how they view commitment. A woman who has had multiple sexual experiences might have a different perspective on commitment than someone who hasn't had as many relationships. She may view commitment as something that's not as easily given or as necessary for a relationship to thrive. Her past relationships may have shaped her belief that commitment, while important, doesn't necessarily define the quality of a relationship. Instead, she might emphasize the importance of mutual respect, freedom, and understanding, rather than feeling the need for traditional markers of commitment like exclusivity or long-term promises. This doesn't mean that she doesn't believe in commitment at all. Instead, it suggests that her experiences have taught her to see relationships from a broader perspective, where commitment doesn't have to come with rigid expectations. Example: imagine you're in a relationship with someone who has had several partners before, and they're not as inclined to pressure you into committing in the traditional sense. They may suggest that a strong connection doesn't require a formal label, or that mutual respect and understanding are more important than being locked into a particular type of commitment. Sign 7. The ability to set boundaries and know their worth. Women who have been in multiple sexual relationships often become very aware of their own worth and are more skilled at setting boundaries. After having navigated different dynamics in past relationships, they know what they're willing to tolerate and what they won't accept. Setting boundaries isn't just about protecting oneself emotionally, but also about ensuring that physical intimacy is always consensual and respectful. Women with a strong sense of their own worth often have clear boundaries and are unafraid to enforce them when necessary. Example: you may notice that your partner is quick to assert her boundaries if something doesn't sit well with her. Whether it's in the context of sex, emotional needs, or personal space, she won't hesitate to communicate her limits. This strong sense of self-worth comes from the experiences of past relationships that taught her the importance of standing firm in her own needs. Sign 8. Positive body language and comfort in her own skin. Women who have had multiple sexual relationships may have developed a strong sense of comfort with their bodies. This doesn't mean that they necessarily have perfect confidence, but they've often come to terms with their physical selves through different experiences. Comfort with one's body can be reflected in how she carries herself, her posture, and the way she expresses herself in social situations. A woman who feels good about her body will often show positive body language, exuding confidence in her interactions with others. Her past experiences, including intimate ones, might have helped her reach a place where she can embrace her physical self without shame or insecurity. Example: a woman who confidently walks into a room, maintains eye contact, and speaks with assurance may have gone through experiences that allowed her to become comfortable in her skin. While past sexual experiences can contribute to this comfort, it's also a reflection of her personal growth and self-acceptance. Sign 9. Openness to non-traditional forms of intimacy. A woman with multiple past sexual relationships may have a broader understanding of intimacy that goes beyond just physical sex. She might be open to non-traditional forms of connection, such as emotional intimacy, deep conversations, or shared activities that foster bonding without necessarily involving sex. In past relationships, she might have discovered that intimacy can take many forms, and that it doesn't always need to be tied to physical acts. This mindset can lead to a more well-rounded approach to relationships, where both emotional and physical connections are equally valued. Example: in your relationship, your partner might suggest spending time doing something intimate like cooking together, going for a walk, or having long heart-to-heart talks. These activities can foster intimacy in ways that go beyond the physical, highlighting her understanding of connection from past experiences. Sign 10. The ability to let go of the past. Lastly, one of the most telling signs of a woman who has had multiple relationships is her ability to leave the past behind and not let previous experiences define her current relationship. Despite the ups and downs of her past, she has learned how to grow and move on, taking the valuable lessons without holding on to bitterness or regret. This ability to let go is a sign of emotional maturity and resilience. It shows that she's not haunted by past experiences, but has learned how to integrate them into her life without allowing them to affect her present or future relationships. Example: if you're in a relationship with someone who has had past relationships, you might notice that they don't bring up ex-partners or past issues constantly. Instead, they focus on building the present and are ready to move forward. having learned what they needed from the past without letting it impact their current relationship. In this section, we've explored deeper signs that may suggest a woman has had multiple sexual relationships in the past, such as emotional detachment, a shift in views on commitment, the ability to set strong boundaries, and a positive body image. We've also looked at how these signs manifest in everyday interactions, emphasizing the complexity and richness of human relationships. It's essential to remember that these signs are not universal or absolute. Everyone's experiences are unique, and these traits are not inherently negative. Instead, they reflect how past relationships have shaped a woman's understanding of intimacy, connection, and herself. As we move into the final part of this video, we'll discuss the lessons we can take from these observations and how they can enhance our understanding of relationships in general. Stay tuned for the final part, where we will wrap up with key takeaways and practical advice for fostering healthy, respectful connections. Reflecting on past experiences and building healthier relationships. Sign 11. Understanding the need for personal space. One more critical sign of a woman who has had multiple relationships is her ability to understand and communicate the need for personal space. She may have learned from her past relationships that personal space is vital for maintaining both emotional and physical health within a partnership. This could manifest in her desire for alone time or in her preference for maintaining certain aspects of her life independent of her partner. Personal space doesn't necessarily imply a lack of love or affection. Rather, it is an essential part of a balanced relationship. A woman who understands this concept is more likely to have had experiences where personal boundaries were either respected or violated, leading to her current understanding of what is healthy for both herself and her partner. Example: in your relationship, your partner might request time alone to recharge, engage in hobbies, or simply have quiet time without any external distractions. This is a clear sign of a woman who has learned from previous relationships the importance of having time to herself to avoid feeling overwhelmed or losing her sense of identity. Sign 12. A desire for open communication. Women who have had multiple sexual and romantic relationships tend to place a high value on open, honest communication. Through navigating various experiences, they often realize that clear and direct communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship. She may have learned from past mistakes, misunderstandings, or miscommunications, and now seeks to foster transparency and understanding in her current relationships. This desire for communication can make her more comfortable discussing difficult topics such as feelings, fears, and even past relationships, creating a safe space for both partners to express themselves openly. Example: a woman who has experienced multiple relationships may be more likely to engage in conversations about trust, needs, and expectations early on. She might also initiate discussions about how to resolve conflicts or how to improve the emotional connection between both partners. This willingness to openly discuss sensitive issues is a sign of emotional maturity and learned behavior from past relationships. Sign 13. Healthy balance of independence and intimacy. A key sign of a woman who has experienced multiple sexual relationships is her ability to balance intimacy with personal independence. After having been in various relationships, she has likely discovered that the healthiest partnerships are those where both partners maintain a sense of individual identity and autonomy, while still sharing deep intimacy and connection. This balance doesn't mean that she doesn't want closeness or love. Rather, it reflects her belief that both partners should have the freedom to pursue personal interests and goals, while still being fully invested in the relationship. Example: if you're in a relationship with such a woman, you may notice that while she deeply values time together, she also encourages both of you to grow individually. She may support your ambitions, passions, and friendships, while also nurturing the bond between the two of you. This balance is often the result of past experiences where she may have been too emotionally dependent or too independent, eventually learning that balance is key. The final lesson: embracing growth and understanding. As we conclude this deep dive into the signs of a woman who may have had multiple sexual relationships, it's important to remember that these signs should never be used to judge or label someone. They are simply indicators of how life experiences can shape a person's views on intimacy, relationships, and self-worth. The lessons we've learned from exploring these signs are crucial for anyone looking to build healthy, long-lasting relationships. They teach us the importance of emotional maturity, open communication, setting boundaries, and respecting both ourselves and our partners. Key takeaways: emotional independence. Past experiences can foster a sense of emotional detachment, leading to greater independence but also sometimes making emotional connections harder to navigate. Understanding commitment. Women with past relationships may have a more flexible view of commitment, emphasizing mutual respect over traditional definitions. Setting boundaries. Having strong boundaries is a sign of self-respect and emotional growth, often developed through learning from past mistakes. Comfort in one's body. A positive body image and comfort with intimacy are often gained from experiencing different forms of relationships, helping individuals embrace their physical self without shame. Non-traditional intimacy. Many women with multiple relationships value intimacy in various forms, beyond just physical encounters, prioritizing emotional and intellectual connections. Letting go of the past. The ability to move on from past relationships without allowing them to influence current ones is a sign of emotional maturity and resilience. What you can do: building stronger relationships. Now that we have explored these signs and their potential meanings, it's important to reflect on how we can apply these insights to our own relationships. Understanding that every person's past shapes their present actions and beliefs is essential to fostering empathy and connection. If you're in a relationship with someone who exhibits any of these signs, it's crucial to approach them with understanding and respect. Everyone's journey is unique, and past experiences, whether positive or negative, contribute to how we navigate the world around us. Example of real-life application. If you notice that your partner is emotionally detached or values their independence, it's essential to have an open conversation about it. Instead of taking it personally, ask them about their past experiences and how they feel about maintaining personal space or emotional boundaries. This can help both of you understand each other better and find ways to make your relationship stronger. At the same time, be mindful of your own emotional needs and be willing to communicate them clearly. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding, and acknowledging each other's past experiences is a crucial part of that foundation. Final reflections and moving forward in this comprehensive analysis, we've delved deep into the signs of a woman who may have had multiple sexual relationships, exploring the emotional and psychological aspects that come with such experiences. While these signs are not definitive, they offer valuable insights into the complexities of human relationships and the way we shape our understanding of intimacy and connection. Remember, the most important takeaway is that we should never judge someone based on their past, but instead approach relationships with open-mindedness and a willingness to understand. Past experiences shape who we are today, but they do not define us. It's how we grow, learn, and move forward that truly matters. As we continue to build stronger, healthier relationships, let's embrace the lessons from these signs and apply them to our own lives. Whether it's through open communication, setting healthy boundaries, or learning to balance independence and intimacy, we have the power to create relationships that are fulfilling, respectful, and lasting. If you found this video helpful and insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Your support means a lot to us. Also, feel free to drop your thoughts or experiences in the comments section below. Let's continue this conversation. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.